It always has been one of the remarkable features that international competition equal between men and women. It took a little bit longer, not that much.
That promise of lifelong service I renew to you all today.
Something shocking just rocked the royal family. Reports claim Queen Camilla's name has been erased from a historic royal decree, sparking whispers of power struggles inside the palace. What's really going on behind closed doors? Stay tuned. Smash that subscribe button so you don't miss the latest royal bombshells. At exactly 9:43 a.m., a sealed royal decree slipped out of King Charles's study. Its golden trim shimmered under the morning light, still warm from the signatures of two of the monarchy's most influential figures. On the surface, it looked routine, another official document from Buckingham Palace. But the contents? Anything but ordinary. There was one name that everyone expected to see, a name that had been beside King Charles through scandal, scrutiny, and a very public climb to acceptance. But it wasn't there. Queen Camilla, completely missing. No title, no mention, just gone. Palace insiders say this was no error. In fact, it was deliberate. The decree marked a major shift in royal operations. It restructured ceremonial roles, defined a new lineup of public-facing royals, and officially named only 4 people who would carry the monarchy forward: King Charles, Princess Anne, Prince William, and Princess Catherine. That meant no Harry, no Andrew, and, shockingly, no Queen Camilla. To those close to the crown, it felt like a silent thunderclap. This wasn't just a bureaucratic change, it was a loud message disguised as quiet ink, one that hinted something deeper was happening behind palace doors. And we're just getting started. So who exactly was behind this royal pivot? Let's talk about Princess Anne, the king's sister and one of the most consistently devoted members of the royal family. While others drew headlines with big public moments, Anne stayed the course, unshaken, understated, unrelenting. Insiders say Anne has become King Charles's most trusted confidant, especially when it comes to long-term royal strategy. While Camilla once offered emotional support, Anne has stepped into the role of royal architect. Her influence has grown massively in the months since Charles took the throne. Without fanfare or flashy announcements, she's taken on more responsibilities, leading state visits, overseeing ceremonial planning, and even attending private briefings that, until recently, included Camilla. And here's the twist. It was Princess Anne who reportedly insisted that the royal decree include only the core 4. According to sources close to the situation, Anne argued that to preserve the monarchy's future, they had to trim the fat and present a clear, efficient face to the public. She wasn't pushing for drama, she was pushing for survival. And while King Charles hesitated, reportedly reviewing the draft over and over, he ultimately chose to follow her advice. Not out of coldness, but out of necessity. Inside the palace, staff and aides were stunned. For decades, queen consorts had always been included in such decrees. Even when their duties were largely ceremonial, they were still symbolic figures, pillars of stability and continuity. So when Camilla's name was left off the page, many knew instantly, this wasn't a mistake. It was a strategic exclusion. For Camilla, who had stood beside Charles through so much, this omission wasn't just about paper. It was deeply personal, a lifetime of public redemption, slowly earned, suddenly brushed aside. But it didn't stop there. According to palace insiders, the royal decree marked a much broader shift, one that placed Camilla outside the loop of decision-making entirely. From that moment forward, she was no longer part of the monarchy's inner circle. And that inner circle? It's now made up of only 4 key figures: King Charles, Princess Anne, Prince William, and Princess Catherine. They're the new foundation, the core 4 tasked with carrying the royal institution into a modern era. Every major event, every state decision, every strategic move would be made by this tight-knit group. And for Camilla, that meant watching from the sidelines. As soon as the decree leaked to the press, the story exploded. Within minutes, headlines like "Camilla cut from crown" and "Queen no more" dominated every major platform. Social media lit up with debates, reactions, and speculation. Some praised the decision, calling it a long overdue correction. Others were outraged, defending Camilla's hard-won place beside the king. Commentators dug deep. Was this a symbolic demotion? A public statement wrapped in a silent pen stroke? Public opinion, surprisingly, leaned in favor of the change. In one major poll, 62% of respondents supported Camilla's removal from the decree. Many cited trust in Princess Anne as a deciding factor. Her reputation as loyal, no-nonsense, and scandal-free gave the move legitimacy. But the questions didn't stop. Why now? And what did it really say about the royal marriage? Had Charles chosen duty over love? And more importantly, had Camilla seen it coming? While the headlines focused on Camilla, the real story was much bigger. This was a monarchy evolving, rapidly. The sprawling ceremonial model of the past was shrinking. Roles were being redefined, titles reassigned, and the royal family was becoming something leaner, more focused, and frankly, more strategic. The plan was always to streamline. Charles had mentioned it in the past, almost casually. But now, with Anne by his side, it was happening in real time. Every major public duty, every major event, was being reshaped under the vision of this new core. No longer would extended royals carry the weight. Instead, it was Charles, Anne, William, and Catherine. And Camilla, her duties were already being reassigned. Princess Catherine, with her growing popularity and diplomatic grace, was quietly taking over several of Camilla's public roles. Anne, already the busiest royal, was stepping into even more. It wasn't personal, it was structural. But for Camilla, that distinction made little difference. Behind the glittering public events and polished appearances, something very different is happening within royal walls. Queen Camilla's world, once bustling with engagements and responsibilities, has grown noticeably quieter. Her calendar, previously packed with public outings and ceremonial duties, now has empty spaces, quietly signaling a shift few expected. According to insiders, the change is more than just a trimmed schedule. Camilla has been quietly stepping back from the limelight, her involvement in key palace discussions decreasing sharply. Meetings that were once routine are now happening without her. And when decisions are made, she's often informed after the fact rather than consulted beforehand. But here's where it gets intriguing. Camilla isn't simply stepping away, she's regrouping. Behind closed doors at Clarence House, Camilla is reportedly hosting a new wave of private meetings. Her closest confidants, long-standing friends, and experienced advisors are gathering more frequently. Some say these gatherings are to chart a quieter, more personal future. Others claim she's building a counter-strategy, positioning herself in a different yet still influential space within the royal structure. Reports suggest she is focusing on two key areas: preserving her charitable legacies and securing her voice in historical narratives. Insiders mention renewed efforts around literacy programs, reading campaigns, and animal welfare causes, areas where Camilla has worked passionately for years. By doubling down on these projects, she could maintain a meaningful presence without clashing with the new streamlined monarchy. Interestingly, this approach could serve two purposes. First, it allows Camilla to step back from royal politics while still being publicly relevant. Second, it gives her an avenue to shape her own story, on her terms, rather than being defined by shifting royal alliances. The palace staff is feeling the change too. Some of Camilla's long-serving aides have reportedly been reassigned or subtly phased out, while others remain uncertain about their future roles. Tensions are rising, not only because of reduced responsibilities, but because of the growing gap between Camilla and the rest of the royal family's active core. It's not just within palace walls either. There's external speculation too. Certain royal watchers believe Camilla might eventually choose a soft retirement from formal duties, publicly framed as a focus on health and personal causes. Others believe she will quietly craft a new identity, becoming a respected royal elder involved in select activities, carefully choosing when and how she appears. Then there's the wild card theory, whispers of Camilla potentially using trusted journalists to subtly share her side of the story. A quiet interview, a candid article, or even an exclusive book contribution could allow her to influence public perception without breaching royal protocol. Through all these shifting dynamics, one thing is clear: Camilla isn't giving up. Whether by reshaping her role, protecting her charitable work, or influencing from behind the scenes, she appears determined to leave her mark. It's not about headlines anymore, it's about legacy. The quiet battle within the palace is still unfolding, and Camilla's next steps could end up redefining what it means to be part of the royal family in a modern age. Queen Camilla's exclusion from the royal decree isn't just about names on a document. It's about the future direction of the British monarchy, and the changes are bigger than they first appeared. With Camilla stepping back, the royal family is clearly entering a new phase. The core four, King Charles, Princess Anne, Prince William, and Princess Catherine, have emerged as the visible driving force of the monarchy. Every state event, every ceremonial duty, and every key appearance will now revolve around these four figures. This shift carries huge implications. For William and Catherine, This opens up new opportunities. They are no longer just the next generation. They are now the centerpiece of the monarchy's public image. With their growing global recognition, especially among younger audiences, they have the chance to modernize the monarchy's role both at home and internationally. Their clean public profile and relatable family life offer the crown a refreshing image that the public appears eager to embrace. Princess Anne, often overlooked by the media, has quietly become the monarchy's trusted foundation. Her involvement in strategic decisions and day-to-day operations is reportedly unmatched. Her steadfast loyalty, work ethic, and no-nonsense approach have made her the essential link between the past and the future of the monarchy. Some insiders even say Anne's leadership is influencing how future roles within the royal family will be defined, less about title, more about duty. Then there's King Charles. His reign is being shaped by bold decisions, even when they come at a personal cost. Choosing to prioritize the monarchy's survival over personal attachments paints a portrait of a monarch willing to make the hard calls. Historians may remember him not only as the man who waited longest to ascend the throne, but as the reformer who streamlined the monarchy to face a rapidly changing world. As for Camilla, her future path remains uncertain but crucial. By focusing on personal causes, she could carve out a respected role as a royal elder who supports from the sidelines without challenging the new royal order. Alternatively, if she opts to quietly withdraw from public life, it could mark the beginning of a more private chapter, one where her influence is subtle but enduring. However, royal watchers warn this transition isn't without risk. The monarchy has always balanced tradition with adaptability. By narrowing the working royal group, the institution may become more focused, but also more exposed. With fewer royals handling more responsibilities, the pressure on the core four will intensify, and every misstep will attract greater public scrutiny. Moreover, there's the question of public perception. While recent polls show support for a streamlined monarchy, many also feel empathy for Camilla. Her decades-long journey from outsider to queen consort was a powerful story of resilience. Some feel her exclusion was too sudden, too harsh, and possibly short-sighted. Yet, in an age of modern media, evolving social values, and constant public scrutiny, the monarchy seems determined to survive by becoming leaner, sharper, and more relatable. The coming months will be telling. Camilla's next move, the core four's performance, and the public's response will all shape the monarchy's future. Will this streamlined model succeed in strengthening the crown, or will unexpected consequences unfold, forcing further adjustments? What's certain is that we're witnessing one of the most significant shifts in recent royal history. And it's happening not with grand declarations, but with quiet decisions and strategic omissions. As the world watches, the British monarchy is writing a new chapter, one that could define its legacy for decades to come. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. And if you want to understand how Princess Anne became the crown's most powerful strategist, check out our next video. Trust us, it'll change how you see the royal family forever. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the monarchy may be silent, but its moves speak louder than ever.